So this is Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine. It's an action blockbuster title. In this game, you play Captain Titus of the Ultramarines. The Ultramarines in this universe, which is set in the 41st millennium, are the defenders of humanity. And they've been sent to this Forge world, which you can see here, this planet-sized factory. And they're there to purge this planet of orcs. Orcs have infested the planet, and they're trying to get hold of these war-class titans that are these devastating walking war machines used by the Imperium of Man to conquer different planets. And if the orcs get a hold of them, that would be really bad for the Imperium of Man. The game's basically a shooter title, but a little bit different to some of the other third-person shooters out there. And yeah, like Gears of War, you know, we're definitely in that same genre, but the way we're different is we have a seamless blend of shooting and melee. And we're all about getting into the middle of the fight. So we talk a lot about this idea of unleash visible violent death, and that really is what the Space Marines are. They're blue and gold. They don't go into battle lightly. They go in there to strike as much fear and devastation into all of these alien enemies as possible. So we want to give you those tools to seamlessly blend the two and get a real sense of cadence and forward momentum in battle. And you even get energy by staying in the battle, because if you pull up these execution moves, these brutal kind of pick up the orcs and throw them around, that actually increases your health. So everything is based on fighting and war and, you know, just destruction in this universe. And that's what we try to bring to life.
So are you planning on any crossing between different games from Warhammer 40,000 from THQ?
There's going to be some surprises in there for the fans of Dawn of War, for sure. I think they'll see some familiar faces. I wouldn't want to give too many concrete answers on that, but I'm sure the guys who are into that stuff will know exactly what I'm hinting at. But yeah, there's definitely going to be some of that in there as well, for sure.
Are you planning on doing persistent universe, like when playing 40,000? Dawn of War and Space Marine unlock something of a battle, or I see the battle from different angles?
Well, what we do have is we have a number of different pre-sale items that are going to support the game. So we have unique chapters that you can get. You can get things like the Space Wolves if you pre-order through certain retailers. We're also doing a partnership with another game called Kill Team, where you'll be able to get a power sword, and that will be a unique unlockable for just the multiplayer mode. So those are kind of some of the little gems that we have there. But I'm going to get into combat now. So first move I just pulled off there was the Bull Rush. Now I'm just trying to get into some very strong melee moves. I can do heavy melee attacks and some lighter ones.
How do you do them, like pressing hard on the button?
Yeah, you press them by, like, you know, quick taps on the X button, or a more solid hold down on the button will also do the heavy attacks. So like that one, and that one as well. And then you got the quick ones, which are like this. So, but as I said, you know, you can switch from the melee to the shooting pretty easily and quickly as well. Let's take out these guys. Some of them are trying to run away there. Then you have guys like the Knob here as well. He's one of the bigger guys. You'll see in the left-hand corner I'm actually charging up my Fury meter. When that's charged up a bit, you can actually use it to slow down time. So I can actually take this guy on really easily by slowing it down and get those headshots on him to really try and, you know, take his head off, basically. We have a number of different weapons. Some of them are unique as well through our partnership with GW. This is called the Vengeance Launcher. Doesn't technically exist in the IP, but it does now through working with Games Workshop. It basically allows you to put different timed mines into the world and then explode them at will. Really fun and gratifying weapon, just totally obliterates the orcs.
Are you planning to support Space Marine by books, comics, movies?
There's no books or comics to support it, but I will say that the narrative in the game is very rich, so, you know, I don't see why we couldn't do those kind of spin-offs in the future. The story that you go on with Titus is very unique. It's unusual for the Space Marines as well, or the Ultramarines, because he's not as puritanical maybe as some of the other Space Marine chapters or some of the famous characters that you'll know from the IP. He has some good level of depth to him, and he has quite a dark and harrowing story in the game. A lot of murder, betrayal, and yeah, you know, there's a very strong involvement in chaos in the game, so that's going to play into the story of Titus. Now, this is one of the bigger guys. I actually had to stun him before I could pull up an execution move on him, which is one of these ones here. Put the sword right through his head there.
So, what's unique about this story?
So what's unique about the story is basically you arrive on the Forge World, you're there to purge it of these orcs. But as you go around the Forge World, you uncover a darker story and mystery to the planet. And it's basically there's an Inquisitor on the planet. He's been doing some very questionable research. And that research, he basically convinces you that that power source can actually help purge the planet of the orcs. But what it actually does is it opens a portal, a warp, to a far more darker threat, which is chaos. And you know, through that, Titus becomes involved in a story where, you know, he's always the hero. He always wants to save the day, but some people around him question his motives. And, you know, if you know the world of Warhammer 40,000, it's pretty bad for Space Marines to come in contact with that stuff. And if they do, you're often considered a heretic. So that's where the story's pretty interesting in that regard.
As to the orcs, chaos, something more enemies?
The main two threats in the game are chaos and the orcs, but there's an orc war boss, so there's different boss battles that you have in the game. We also have, you know, there's a chaos lord in the game, so you're gonna have a very interesting battle with him towards the end of the game as well. So
Will we see any more chapters on Space Ultramarines?
I'll say yes, but I won't say which ones. Yes, definitely. And again, if you know the Dal series, there's definitely a very familiar chapter that's going to make an appearance. So.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.